Okay, Karen, love the color scheme. Good job. Looking great. I think your presentation looks phenomenal. I really do. I think you're telling a story, which is first and foremost, most important. Um, the story is here. You're starting out with introducing Denver, then talking about the history of Denver. Then this is great, going into the reasoning behind the four city approach. Um, and then just going on from there and really telling a story. I think it's great. Good job. The one thing I would say is, you got some good placement shots here. I think your grid is really good. Wonderful white space, very very welcoming pages. Um, the Everything's very consistent from page to page. There's no jumping around. Text isn't moving around. Your text blocks are all consistently sized. The grid is used very consistently, and I think each page is very inviting. There's nothing jarring happening on each page. Um, okay, so let's go through page by page. Cover looks good. Um, Cover looks good. This looks good, and then I think this is a good shot. I do. I think this is an interesting way to kind of introduce. Okay, here's DIA, and then here's DIA during the Olympics. It's just kind of a mock-up of what you would feel like if you were to land in Denver during, the time of the event or before the event. If you were going to the event, being welcomed to the city in the airport by the graphics package used in your branding. And I think that's an interesting shot. I think it's an interesting way to go, an interesting way to start the presentation. History, this is good. Good. I think this is one of the smartest things I've seen in this series of presentations for the class, is that using this four city approach. Very, very clever. Let's see something here. Okay, yeah, looking good. Okay, got your logo. Denver, Val, Colorado Springs, Aspen. Very good, very good. Denver, the hub for the Winter Olympic Games. You know what I would do? I would mock up your logo in there, or somehow to associate this with your 2022 Denver event. I think that would be interesting. Altitude sickness and health in the Mile Side City and the Mile High City and mountains. Um, okay, good. Training Center, Colorado Springs, getting the no problem. This is good. I mean, this is great. Now, at this point, getting around Aspen, then we have creating the look in the winter field. Key concepts. This is one thing that is a little inconsistent, because everywhere you've given a written kind of a verbal description, but here you've gone into bullets. I would just describe this verbally. I would just include a paragraph, just like you've done in everything else. Then we have just a few logo placement shots, and this is where I think you're falling short in the presentation. I think everything really is telling a beautiful story. Very, very nice. Then we get here, and you just kind of stop. We have, that graphic there. We've got the logo, and then we got a couple of placement shots, and that's it. So I would concentrate moving forward on really starting to get more variation in your placement shots. Think about all of the things that we've looked at through the weeks, and try to add as many as you can. And I think that at that point, I think you're ready to go. But as far as page mechanics and presentation goes, I think you're pretty solid here. I really do. I think that let me take a quick look through your typography. Typeset is good. Relationship here, this type is a little large compared to this. I might reduce that size a little bit. Also, think about presenting this type headlines in this color blue, your dark blue. I think black is a little stark for the page. I think blue will be a little more inviting, a little more harmonious through the presentation. This is kind of long. An eco-friendly four-zone approach to hosting the Winter Olympics. I would just say a four-zone approach. That's it, just a four-zone approach. Okay, I notice an inconsistency here. You've got your placement. Now, you're following the grid. That's the good thing. But placement right here, look at the distance between where the headline stops and the type starts here. Okay, then look at the same thing here. That's inconsistency that would have to be addressed right there. Type looks good. Good rags. No widows, no orphans. Good line spacing. Grid is followed, broken in some appropriate areas. Very nice. Again, right here, though, we have this difference between, look at how far that is from the top of the type as opposed to some of the other areas. Likewise. I think it'd be a good idea to, in a lot of your placement shots, I think it'd be a good idea to give a verbal description, just a paragraph or something as to, how does this relate to your branding package? How does this relate to your methodology? How does it all culminate into a cohesive and coherent, harmonious visual package? And of course, the example is over here. If you can take a look at some of these from Santiago, Chile, each one of these has a verbal description website. They all kind of describe what's happening, albeit some are very brief, but nonetheless, they all have a verbal description as to how this ties in with the whole main idea behind the methodology and the branding concept. Okay, photo sources page. Okay, and then I would make sure that is the last page before the back cover. But definitely need to see some more placement shots, and you have your, more to come. So I think you know that. All right. Good job. Good job. Any questions, please let me know. Thanks.